This is really crazy. The battery pack has gone from 71.7 kilowatt hours to 71.8 kilowatt hours.
Correct.
But the range is the same. There's a slight difference of 10 kilometers or something like that. But they say that's down to which mode of measurement it was, NEDC or WLTP or whatever.
Right.
It's down to that. The actual functionality is not changed. And keep in mind that now this motor makes over 200 horsepower.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That's a fast van.
And the old one was 95.
Wow.
Right?
That's crazy battery optimization.
Yeah. So this was one of the big questions. What's changed? Because BYD at this point in time was supposed to bring in a new generation of batteries. So I was like, is this the new gen batteries? How is this happening? Because the range you're managing to maintain and you're managing to deliver this high level of performance. So, but those answers aren't available. I think what they're doing, and this is the driving experience part of it, is that they are controlling the performance. So at no point did I feel that, wow, this is a 200 horsepower car. It's also heavy, of course, yes. But did I feel like that, man, this is crazy quick? Didn't feel like that. Whether you're an eco, normal, or sport.
So energetic, but not enthusiastic.
No, it's not that kind of fast. It doesn't feel athletic. It feels brisk, but not lively as such. It'll do whatever you want it to do quickly, effortlessly. In fact, because it was the same place, there was this one section that we'd driven down to. Or, you know, if you're driving down the ECR towards Mahabalipuram, when I'd taken the E6 earlier also on the ECR, you know, on the left-hand side is the way to the beach, and on the right, there are many places we can go in, and there are those salt pans.
Right.
So the last time when I'd taken it down there, this is one access road which has a very steep decline. And on the way back, what I'd done was I checked for gradability. So I'd taken it, parked it in the middle of the slope, so you're halfway up.
Right.
I said, how would it respond? And what I remember was that it did it confidently, but it did it slowly. So when I went on the gas, it's like almost like, is it going to go or not? And then it started moving, and it kept moving. But throttle application did nothing to change the pace.
So it crawled up.
Yeah. Now, in this case, with the eMAX 7, the same place, same conditions, it's still as steep. It was prompt. It didn't feel like, oh, it's gauging what's the best it can manage to get out of this situation. It just got going. So
Correct.
That performance, I think there'll be usable functional advantages of it. If you're traveling with 7, if you're going up mountains and stuff, steeper roads, there will be an advantage to it.
This is software, I think, because on the Ather Rista Smart Eco mode, you have exactly the same kind of system.
Okay.
Smart Eco is super conservative in design in terms of it wants to maximize your range almost literally at the expense of everything possible. So if you're climbing uphill, it loses speed all the time until it gets to some residual speed, which is a crawling speed like 10, 12, 13 kmph. Then the motor mode changes and the software won't let the motor go any slower than this end stop. Somehow or the other, it will drag you uphill at this 11, 12, 13 kmph. But it does not have acceleration at this point.
Okay.
But if you go to zip mode, oh yeah, there is acceleration. You can climb this hill. And it takes quite a bit before the slope becomes so steep that in Smart Eco, in zip mode, you start losing speed.
Okay.
So this is software.
Yeah, they actually have said that the new system that they're using, they call it a 8-in-1. So all the various electrical architecture components have been integrated in. So there's greater efficiency. That was one of the things that they said is the reason why they can deliver more performance, but at the same time manage the range. But also along with that, there has been some change to the battery. So in terms of performance, did I think back then that the E6 was not quick enough in normal conditions, just cruising down the ECR?
Yeah.
No, it was fine. Did this feel dramatically better? No, it felt capable. It may have been quicker, but it wasn't like a night and day difference to me right now. When I'm thinking back to both the cars, it didn't feel lacking. This doesn't feel spirited. So it's all right. For an MPV, what you're expecting is getting the job done, right? So there's somewhere managing this, and I think it is through software, because when you think about changing modes, the drive modes, you go from eco to normal to sport. In this, the range prediction does not change. It just does not change.
Okay, so then why would you switch modes at all?
And that also, the difference between the modes to me is not so dramatic. You can feel that, okay, under 40 kilometers an hour, the eco mode is absolutely fine. And when you get past that, the normal mode feels a little bit more responsive. And the sport mode will be a little bit more responsive
So just
as you go faster.
call it drive. And then you're in eco mode up to 40 in what is currently the normal mode between 40 to whatever 80. And from 80 onwards, you're in sport mode. Why do you need 3 driving modes at all?
Yeah. So the modes, so all these software things, and this is the same thing, remember with the seal, the brake regen was not as predictable or as natural as I had expected. And I think it's these software aspects in terms of usability which they're not managing to dovetail together.
Got it.
And when you go into the infotainment system and go through the settings there's so many more settings there, right? So for the steering, there's a normal and a sport, which is okay. Then there's a similar setting for the brakes, but none of these seem to be linked to the drive modes. And then there is a range mode, which is standard and aggressive or something. I've got images of all of that. I'll put it up.
A range mode that is standard and aggressive.
Yeah.
What is aggressive range?
I have no idea.
Will it aggressively protect your range, or will it give you aggressive performance and screw range?
No, aggressive is clearly the one, or whatever it's called, standard and something.
Okay. The name is not actually aggressive.
I'm not sure. In my head, it's aggressive. No, it mustn't be aggressive. Whatever it is, standard and
Aggro.
something. So in this was the only thing which would change the range prediction.
Got it. And you'd get more if you went into this aggressive mode, or less?
Less.
Okay. No, because look, I am not a native English speaker, so sometimes I mistake words for what I think they mean and they mean something else. A lot of which I can't say on YouTube, right? But when the Chinese start using English words, we know that there is history there.
Yeah.
And they've gotten a heck of a lot better for sure, but there is history there, right? So when they say aggressive range, I don't know whether they mean aggressively give you more range and therefore your driving experience will suffer in the process or not. So I have to clarify.
So I don't even know whether it's aggressive or not. You would have seen it on the screen by now. But there's one more thing on this note. So the region modes are standard and larger.
Larger?
Yeah.
What grows okay, no. No, we're not going there. No.
He wants you to. Do you understand?
No. Okay, just tell me what's the difference between the two modes.
So standard is low region.
Okay.
And larger is heavier region.
Got it, okay.
So in standard, it felt fairly loose. In the larger mode, sounds.
I didn't do anything here, okay?
In the other mode,
so it feels like it's freewheels a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. And in the other mode, it also has more regen, so it does slow you down more. You can feel that, but is it like a single pedal type?
It's not designed for it.
And again, I think the consistency is the thing that I would like. That how much it slows you down. When can you expect it to cut off, if it is going to cut off? Those kind of things I couldn't get my finger on in this time that we drove. And we spent about 140 kilometers with the car in that day, which is not insignificant. If I must draw a parallel, I'd go to the Windsor straight away, because that's the one thing. In fact, when we finished the conversation about the Windsor, the MF, I was actually surprised that I did not discuss with you what the car actually felt like to drive. All I told you was it was good and that it felt predictable. And that, I was thinking about it, was the ultimate compliment. It's not complicated. It does what you want it to do. Whereas with so many others, and here with this as well, there are so many things that just don't feel that natural.
Got it.
You have to figure them out and think like, oh, what's it doing? How should I make the best use of it? So I think there's a lot of software related stuff which needs to get simplified and become more natural to use so that it's just seamless.
Okay.
We hope you enjoyed watching that, and there's plenty more where that came from on the main MotorInc channel. Please do catch us there and do like, share and subscribe.